Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Week 2 Thursday Night Football Showdown slate on Draftkings. We got the Giants and the Washington football team going up against each other on Thursday night. This is not the best primetime game. We're probably going to have a pretty low-scoring game here. Right now, the total for this game is very, very low, 40.5 total for the Giants and Washington game on Thursday, but we got a showdown slate to break down, guys. We got a ton of money up top. Draftkings once again just keeps running out big prize pools for these showdown slates. They're probably going to do it for most of the season, at least early on. We're going to see big tournaments every showdown slate for these primetime games. 2.5 million in total prizes, another milli maker, milli to first on DK. So as always, guys, we're going to talk through the showdown slate, talk about roster construction, start off at the top of the player pool, work our way down. I'm going to hit on all the playable options, all the guys that I do have interest in, and then we'll talk through maybe some captains I like as well. But before we do get started, please guys, appreciate it if you would hit the like button down below. If you are new to the channel here, make sure you do click that subscribe button as well. I upload a ton of NFL content to this YouTube channel. I'm trying to get up videos almost every single day, whether that's for the main slate or for the showdown slates. I'm trying to get up as much content as I can, just make the best content I can for you guys. So if you do enjoy the videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. PrizePicks is a little bit different than DraftKings and FanDuel. They're a new DFS site, but they are kind of on the come up, and they're more player prop based. So if you want to get some action in on this game, maybe not on DraftKings or FanDuel or Yahoo or wherever, you want to get a little bit of different action, then you can do player props. So they basically have pass yards, rushing yards, receiving yards. They have almost everything you could think of. They even have fantasy point projection as well for all the players, and you can pick whether you think they go over or under their projection. You can take a look at their week 1 or week 2 board. You can take a look at what they have for the main slate. You can also see what they have for this game. For this video specifically, we're just going to touch on a few picks I like for this Thursday night game. We'll do that as we go through the video. But if you guys have not checked out PrizePicks yet, make sure to do so. Link down below in the description, or just use promo code NOAH when you do sign up for PrizePicks. You will get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. But let's go ahead and take a look at the showdown slate, guys. We'll start off at the top. We'll hit on the 2 quarterbacks since they are the 2 most expensive options. You got Daniel Jones and Taylor Heinicke. So, God, this is not going to be, you're not going to feel good putting these guys in your lineup, but it's really hard to not have interest in the quarterbacks on showdown slates. I'm pretty sure every showdown slate so far this season, at least like the primetime games, at least one quarterback has been in the winning lineup, if not, both quarterbacks. And normally that's the case. Normally at least one of the 2 quarterbacks is going to be in the winning lineup, just because quarterbacks give you such a high floor. Like a bad game for a quarterback is like 12 DraftKings points, which still, in the end could be enough to crack the optimal lineup. Now, for a quarterback to be a winning captain, they're going to need, probably 25, 30 DK points. I don't know if either one of these guys have that kind of upside, so I'm probably not going to be playing Daniel Jones or Taylor Heinicke at the captain spot, but I do like them as flex options. They're super safe. It's projected to be a low-scoring game. I don't think you're going to get, like, big performances from either one of these 2 quarterbacks, but quarterbacks just, they're so safe. They're going to, in this game, I would assume Daniel Jones probably going to throw the ball 25, 30 times. Heinicke, I don't know what the Washington's going to do here. Like, they did not throw the ball much at all in week 1. Heinicke only threw the ball 15 times, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think before he got hurt, only threw the ball like 5 or 6 times. They were very, kind of run heavy. Washington was in week 1. We'll have to see, if their game plan's any different here heading into week 2. But yeah, both quarterbacks are usually always going to be in play for me. And even though these quarterbacks are not the sexiest options, they're still going to be guys I have in a good amount of my lineups. Now, Saquon Barkley, he's kind of the big question mark of the top tier guys for me. He did not get many touches in week 1. They said he was going to be on a pitch count, and I think he only played, I have it up on my second monitor, I believe he only played like half of the snaps. He played 29 snaps, and then Devontae Booker played 24 snaps. So it was kind of a 60-40 split between Saquon and Devontae Booker, which obviously is not good. Like, we don't want that. If we're paying this premium tag for Saquon Barkley, we want him out there on 75, 80% of the snaps, and I don't know if we're going to get that just yet. I think as the season progresses, Saquon's going to get back to that workhorse type role where he's getting 20, 25 touches a game, but he's coming back from a knee injury. They're saying they're going to take it easy on him kind of early on in the season, so at 10K in a tough matchup against a good Washington defense, I don't think I'm going to be going to Saquon that much on this slate. I think he will be lower owned. On a showdown slate, obviously everyone's going to get some ownership, but I don't think Saquon's going to be like 80% owned. I think he's going to be probably like 30 to 40%, maybe not even that high. So if you want to play Saquon just because, he doesn't project well, I mean, Saquon could still have a good game here, and I wouldn't be surprised. But to say I have a lot of confidence in him, that would be, I would be lying if I said that. So tough to really have much confidence in Saquon, but if you want to take the shot on him in tournaments and just hope that he maybe scores a couple touchdowns, go for it. But I don't feel great about Saquon right now. Antonio Gibson, though, I do like quite a bit. I would definitely prefer Antonio Gibson over Saquon in this game. Gibson got a very heavy workload in week 1. He got 23 touches, 20 carries, three receptions on 5 targets. They utilized him pretty heavily in the offense. He played, I think, close to 70% of the snaps, if I do believe. Let me see. Yeah, he played 65% of the snaps in week 1, which was a high for Antonio Gibson. So 9,600. The Giants, I'm pretty sure, gave up a pretty big game to, I can't remember who they played in week 1. I think it was the Broncos they played week 1. Like, Melvin Gordon had a good game against this Giants defense. They gave up 165 rushing yards in week 1. So I definitely like this spot for Antonio Gibson. I think he is going to be a workhorse running back this season. I think he's going to be someone that consistently gets close to 20 touches on a weekly basis. I like him a lot at 9,600. I think he's definitely captain worthy. I think he has the upside to be a top tier captain option. So a lot of interest in Antonio Gibson. Then you got the receivers, Terry McLaurin, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard. Terry McLaurin, kind of another guy for me that's basically in play every week. This Giants defense, I'm not too worried about. I know they have some solid corners, but I think they've made some trades recently, or they maybe have cut some guys. But Terry McLaurin at this point is kind of a matchup-proof receiver to me. The only issue is that his quarterback is just, it's not good right now. I would obviously prefer that Ryan Fitzpatrick be healthy. I think with Ryan Fitzpatrick healthy, we could have seen Terry McLaurin have a big season. With Taylor Heinicke at quarterback, that does kind of cap the upside for Terry McLaurin a little bit. But he's super, super talented. Even at 9K, he is definitely in play for me. But I think I do prefer Antonio Gibson over Terry McLaurin, just because, this Washington pass offense, I'm not going to be too heavily invested in. I think, I'm going to have some Taylor Heinicke in my lineups, but I don't want to be too heavy on Washington's passing offense, just because, God, I just don't think they're going to throw the ball that much unless they get behind early and they have to throw. I think we're going to see them just, give Antonio Gibson 20-plus touches once again. So Terry McLaurin, a little bit riskier, especially with Heinicke at quarterback, but still playable because of the just pure talent that he has. But then you got the Giants receivers, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, even Darius Slayton down here. Sterling Shepard was kind of the bright spot in week 1 for the Giants. He had a huge game, 9 targets, 7 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown. I definitely like Sterling Shepard here. I think he's my favorite of the Giants receivers. Kenny Golladay, 6 targets, 4 catches, 64 yards for him. Like, he doesn't feel like the safer of the Giants receivers. I feel like he's going to be more of a big play kind of, boom bust kind of guy, whereas Sterling Shepard, he doesn't run a ton of deep routes. He's more of a, he runs a pretty, his A-dot is pretty low. He runs a lot of quick routes, a lot of slants. So especially in PPR format, Sterling Shepard is going to be very useful. Obviously, Draftkings is full PPR scoring, so I kind of like Sterling Shepard the most of the 3 Giants receivers. I would probably rank them Sterling Shepard 1, Kenny Golladay 2, and then Darius Slayton number 3. With Darius Slayton being like the wide receiver 3 now, he did get 7 targets in week 1. Between him and Kenny Golladay, who's going to get the most targets between those two? Golladay got 6 in week 1. We don't really know. I think Golladay is probably the more talented receiver, so that's why I would probably put him ahead of Darius Slayton. But Sterling Shepard is my favorite of the 3 Giants receivers. He's probably the guy that I would be clicking on first if I'm just like building out one lineup. I think I'd have Sterling Shepard the most. Out of my tournament lineups, if I'm playing like 20, 50 tournament lineups, I expect Sterling Shepard to probably be my highest owned Giants receiver of those 3 main guys. So he's the guy I like most there. Then you got Logan Thomas at 7,400. Logan Thomas did not get much volume in week 1, but he was on the field, I'm pretty sure, for like every single snap. Let me see. I believe he did play like every single snap. I pulled it up earlier. Let's see. Yeah, Logan Thomas played 100% of their opening day snaps. So yeah, he's going to be on the field a ton. He's going to be running a ton of routes. Obviously, with Washington only throwing the ball 21 times in week 1, that's anytime a team only throws the ball that, or has that few pass attempts, you're not going to see massive targets for really anybody. Logan Thomas didn't have a great game week 1, but I would expect him to bounce back here against the Giants in week 2. I do like Logan Thomas, 7,400. Between these mid-tier pass catchers from basically I would say from Kenny Golladay down to Darius Slayton, I would probably put them Sterling Shepard number 1, Logan Thomas number 2, Golladay 3, and Slayton 4. But all 4 of those guys are playable. All 4 have upside. Shepard, though, is the one that I'm most confident in of those 4 kind of mid-tier pass catchers. And then getting down to the value tier, getting down to some of the cheaper options, you got the Washington's defense at 5,600. It is a great spot for Washington's defense. We know Daniel Jones, he will turn the ball over, he'll take sacks, he fumbles a ton. I still don't think I'm going to be playing Washington's defense. I try to avoid going heavy and playing the defenses on these showdown slates just because defenses are just so random. Could a defense go out there and have a big game? Could Washington, force a sack and get a scoop and score? Or could Daniel Jones throw a pick six? I mean, it's possible, but I tend to avoid the defense and just hope that, neither defenses score a touchdown, really, because if they don't score a touchdown, you're probably going to get less than 10 DraftKings points from both Washington and the Giants defense. So even though it is a pretty good spot for the defenses, I'm probably just going to be avoiding them and just hope that neither one scores a touchdown and neither one you have to have, because most slates the defenses are not going to be in the optimal lineup. But then you got Adam Humphries at 4,800. He only got 2 targets in week 1, but again, Washington did not throw the ball much at all. Humphries is viable, but I think I would just rather go cheaper. We're going to talk about Dyami Brown, who's super cheap, 1,400. He's the cheap option I would look to from Washington's pass catchers. I would definitely rather play him over Humphries. But you got the kickers. Again, kickers, there's no analysis to give. Kickers, normally, they're going to give you 6 to 10 points most games. I think in low-scoring games, kickers could be a little bit more viable. I mean, I don't really know. I don't have the data to back that up. But if you want to play one of the 2 kickers for value, I think that's fine. Normally, I wouldn't play both kickers in the same lineup. Rarely do you see both kickers be in the winning lineup. It's normally, if a kicker does make the winning lineup, it's normally just one. So if you want to play one of the 2 kickers, totally fine with that, just for value. But Kyle Rudolph, 3,200, kind of touchdown or bust. With Evan Ingram already ruled out for this game, I expect Kyle Rudolph to be kind of their lead tight end, I would guess. He got 5 targets against Denver. When Evan Ingram was out that game, I'd assume he probably gets utilized similarly this week, probably gets 4 to 5 targets. Doesn't really have much upside, but if he catches a touchdown, which is possible, it's definitely possible that he makes the winning lineup. For him to make the winning lineup, he would probably only need to score 10, 12 DraftKings points. If he catches a touchdown, it's probably going to be, it's probably or possible that he gets that many DK points. So for 3,200 as a punt value with Evan Ingram out, I think Kyle Rudolph is fine. I don't feel great about him, but 3,200 he's fine. But definitely my favorite value down here is Dyami Brown. So with Curtis Samuel out, Dyami Brown was kind of the wide receiver 2 for Washington in their week 1 game against the Chargers. Now, obviously, he did not have a good game. Only had 1 catch for -2 yards. He did get 4 targets, though. But he was on the field a ton. He played, I think Terry McLaurin played every single snap, and Dyami Brown played over 90% of the snaps in week 1. So they were pretty much using McLaurin as the wide receiver 2, and they were using Dyami Brown as they were using McLaurin as the wide receiver 1 and Brown as the wide receiver 2. He was the clear kind of man on the outside, and they used Adam Humphries in the slot. But if Dyami Brown's going to be on the field for 90+% of the snaps, once again, even in a very gross offense, even playing for a team that doesn't project to score a ton of points, I mean, $1,400 is just super, super cheap for a wide receiver 2 that's going to be on the field for 85, 90% of the snaps. I like him a lot for value. If he gets 4 or 5 targets, it's very likely that he scores at least enough DK points to be a good option at 1,400. It kind of feels like Hunter Renfrow in Monday night's game. Hunter Renfrow was super cheap. He was pretty popular, but he had, I think he finished with 10 DraftKings points. He was in the winning lineup, I'm pretty sure. That could definitely be the case with Dyami Brown here. He could get 5, 6 targets, 4 catches, 40 yards. He could score 8 DraftKings points and easily make the winning lineup at how cheap he is. So if you're looking for a cheap punt option, Dyami Brown, 1,400 is for sure the guy I like most out of all the cheap guys. J.D. McKissick, I'm probably not going to be on. He wasn't really utilized much at all in week 1. Could things change here in week 2? I guess, but I mean, he only got 1 carry for 8 yards. He was only targeted once. It seems like Antonio Gibson's going to be kind of the workhorse back this season. I really just don't know how much they're going to utilize McKissick unless it's just good game script and they're playing from behind, which I don't think that'll be the case this week. So I don't really want to go to McKissick. Kadarius Toney, I don't know too much about, but I'm pretty sure he kind of operated as the wide receiver 4 for the Giants in Week 1. He saw 2 targets on 2 catch, or he got 2 catches for -2 yards on 2 targets. I'd rather play Dyami Brown. I think Dyami Brown's going to be on the field more, and he's just going to probably run more routes than Toney will. But, you know, as just like a touchdown or bust, if you want to go to Kadarius Toney for 1,800, that's fine. But like Cam Sims, I mean, he's probably going to be on the field for like, I don't know, 50, 60% of the snaps. He'll be like the wide receiver 4 behind Adam Humphries, behind Dyami Brown, behind Terry McLaurin. You basically got to hope he catches a touchdown. He's fine at 1K, but really if I'm going cheap, if I'm looking for punt options down here, once you get past the kickers, I would say that Kyle Rudolph and Dyami Brown are my 2 favorite punt options, like below 4K if I'm really looking for cheap value. And the rest of these guys I have no interest in. So I think that does it for kind of the player pool, guys. I think we talked about really all the playable options. Now, kind of looking at roster construction, again, I don't think I'm going to be playing the quarterbacks at captain on this showdown slate, but I still do like getting exposure to the quarterbacks just because of how high of a floor they give you. And normally you want to have one of the 2 quarterbacks in your lineup. But if I'm looking for captain options, I think I'm looking to probably like Antonio Gibson at 9,600. Just workhorse running back, pretty favorable matchup, going to get 20-plus touches. I like building around him at captain. If you want to go that route, you can still fit in some decent pieces. Like, you know, I don't know if I would be playing Taylor Heineke in the lineups where I have Antonio Gibson at captain because, you know, in order for Antonio Gibson to be the winning captain, that probably means he's going to get multiple rushing touchdowns. And if he does that, that probably means Heineke's not really doing much, you know, for in terms of his fantasy value. Like if Gibson gets multiple rushing touchdowns, that probably means Heineke doesn't really get any touchdowns. Basically because, you know, the team is only projected to score 21.75, or they only have a 21.75 implied team total. So I don't think I would be playing Heineke in my lineups where I have Gibson at captain, but I definitely think getting Daniel Jones in those lineups makes plenty of sense. We can go ahead and plug in like Dyami Brown as kind of our punt value play, and we got a lot of salary to work with. I mean, we got $7,900 per player for our last 3 spots, and we've talked about all these mid-tier receivers, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay, Logan Thomas, Terry McLaurin. Like, we could probably just fill out this lineup with these 3 guys. Sterling Shepard's my favorite. You plug him in, you still got $7,900 left for your last 2 spots. So you could go Darius Slayton and Terry McLaurin. You could go Kenny Golladay and Logan Thomas. I mean, it's kind of just like a 2v2 you have to decide on. But I like this build, like starting with Antonio Gibson at captain, plugging in Dyami Brown as kind of a value, maybe get Daniel Jones in that lineup as well, and then kind of working from there. Or if you want to go like Sterling Shepard at captain, totally fine with that as well. If you're playing Sterling Shepard at captain, or if you're playing really any receiver at captain, you always want to pair the quarterback with them. So in my lineups where I have Sterling Shepard at captain, I am definitely going to be playing Daniel Jones in those lineups. And maybe kind of in this build, you could fit both quarterbacks if you wanted to go that route. Plug in Heineke, plug in Dyami Brown as our punt value play, and we got 8K left per player for our last 2 spots. So once again, we could go Terry McLaurin, Darius Slayton. We could go Kenny Golladay, Logan Thomas. I mean, it's kind of the same build. It's just a little bit, you know, I think it's like a 1v1 difference. It's basically Shepard at captain or Gibson at captain, and then Heineke versus Gibson in the, you know, is the other difference. But that's kind of how I'm looking to build out my showdown lineups for this slate. Now, normally on these showdown slates, I do play like 20 to 50 lineups. I just play a lot of low stakes stuff. I don't really, you know, get heavily invested in these showdown slates. I think showdown is just kind of for entertainment. It's a lot more random. So, you know, I'm going to just have a lot of exposure to a bunch of different guys, but I definitely think for me, I'm going to be playing at least one of the 2 quarterbacks in most of my lineups, if not, you know, both quarterbacks in some lineups. I doubt I have any lineups with neither quarterback just because it's really unlikely that you see neither quarterback be in the winning lineup. And then for pay-up options, really like Antonio Gibson. Sterling Shepard's probably my favorite receiver to target. Terry McLaurin, just for talent, I have interest in. And then value-wise, for sure, like Kyle Rudolph and Dyami Brown. Definitely Dyami Brown at 1,400 I like a lot for value. But I think that does it, guys. I think we talked about the entire player pool, all the players I have interest in. We kind of hit on roster construction, how I'm looking to build out my lineups. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I do appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you click that like button down below before you do get out of here. Click that subscribe button as well. I upload a ton of NFL content to this YouTube channel, so obviously I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. And lastly, be sure to check out PrizePicks, link down below in the description, or just use promo code NOAH when you do sign up for PrizePicks. I forgot to mention some of my favorite picks for PrizePicks for this Thursday night game. I'm not going to give out too many because I do give out stuff to Patreon members, but a couple picks I like. You know, we've already talked about Dyami Brown, how he's going to be on the field for 90+% of the snaps. He only has a receiving yard prop of 27.5. You know, if we're getting a wide receiver 2 playing 90+% of the snaps, I will definitely take the over on 27.5 receiving yards for Dyami Brown. So that's one pick I like on Prize Picks. The other one, Antonio Gibson, his receiving yard prop is only 16.5. Again, he was pretty heavily utilized in the passing game in week 1. He saw 5 targets. He had 3 receptions for, I believe, 18 yards. I can pull it up real quick. Yeah, 5 targets, 3 catches for 18 yards. If they're going to keep utilizing him in the passing game like they did in week 1, if he's going to see 4 or 5 targets a week, 16.5 receiving yards, Antonio Gibson can easily go over that number. So that's another pick I like on Prize Picks for this Thursday night game. And then, you know, you can kind of make some more picks for yourself if you want to do just these two. You could do a flex play, or you could do a power play. A power play, if you get both picks right, that would pay out 3x. Or you could, you know, add some additional picks. If you do like a 3-pick power play, that would pay out 5x. You could do 4 picks. If you get all 4 picks right, that would pay out 10x. So there's a lot of ways you can play Prize Picks. You can just kind of look at their board, see anything you like for this Thursday night game, and make some picks for yourself. But if you do want to sign up for Prize Picks, make sure to use promo code NOAH when you sign up. Get a deposit bonus up to $100. So if you sign up with my promo code, you deposit $100. Prize Picks will match that, and they will give you an additional $100 to play with. So you have $200 that you can use for this game, or for, you know, Sunday's slated games. I'm pretty sure they already have a ton of stuff available for Sunday's games as well. So a lot of Prize Picks you can check out, guys, if you want to. Use promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prize Picks. But that does it for this video, guys. I appreciate you watching. I hope you did enjoy, and we will see you in the next one. Good luck on this slate, guys. Peace.